Most people think the most dangerous moment in a divorce is the shouting match, the day one of you packs a bag, the day the papers are served. They're wrong. The most dangerous moment is the silence. Specifically, the silence in a conference room right before the ink dries on the settlement agreement. My ex-wife, Vanessa, thought she had won. She sat across the mahogany table, looking at me with that pitying smile she'd perfected over 10 years of marriage. She thought she was walking away with the house, the cars, and a fair split of our liquid assets. She thought she had successfully hidden $2 million in a shell company she created 3 months before filing. She didn't know that I wasn't reading the contract in front of me. I had memorized it, especially page 40, Clause 9, Subsection C, the penalty for fraudulent non-disclosure clause. She picked up her pen, she signed, and in that split second, she didn't just lose the $2 million she tried to hide. She lost everything. My name is Arthur. For 15 years, Vanessa and I ran a boutique forensic accounting firm. That's the irony she seemed to forget. Our entire business model was finding money that people didn't want found. We audited mid-sized companies. We found the leaks, we plugged them. We were a team, or so I thought. Success does strange things to people. For me, it meant security. For Vanessa, it meant more. About a year before the end, she started changing. Not the cliché stuff, no affair, no late nights. It was professional. She started taking meetings on encrypted apps. She became obsessed with diversifying our personal portfolio into independent ventures. When she served me the divorce papers, it was cold. Irreconcilable differences, she said. She wanted a quick settlement. She offered to let me keep the firm if she could keep the liquid cash and the vacation properties. On paper, it looked like a fair 50-50 split, but my gut told me something was wrong, because Vanessa never gave up anything without a fight. If she was letting me keep the business, it was because she had found a pot of gold somewhere else. I did what any good forensic accountant would do. I audited my own life. I went back 3 years, every credit card swipe, every wire transfer. At first, nothing. She was good. But everyone leaves a digital fingerprint. I found hers in a cloud storage backup she forgot to wipe from the family iPad. It was a single PDF invoice, a consulting fee of $50,000 paid to a company called Veritas Holdings, LLC, based in Nevada. I ran the LLC. It led to a registered agent, dead end. But then I cross-referenced the tax ID with a bank account used for a rental property we sold 2 years ago. There was a link. Vanessa had been funneling money, our money, into Veritas Holdings for 18 months. But it wasn't just cash. She had purchased commercial real estate, a warehouse district currently pending a rezoning deal that would triple its value. Current value, $2.1 million. Projected value, $6 million. And she hadn't listed it on her financial disclosure statement. The trap. I could have called her out immediately. I could have screamed. But in divorce law, anger is expensive. Strategy is free. I went to my lawyer, a shark named Harrison. I showed him the proof, the LLC trail, the deed with her signature. Harrison looked at me and said, "We can get half of this. It's marital property." "No," I said. "I don't want half. I want her to learn a lesson." We drafted the final settlement agreement. We made it look like I was defeated. We gave her the beach house. We gave her the Mercedes. We gave her the cash accounts she did declare. But on page 40, buried in the standard boilerplate text, we added a customized forfeiture clause. It read, "Both parties certify under penalty of perjury that the financial disclosure attached is complete and accurate. In the event that any asset exceeding $10,000 in value is found to have been willfully concealed, the concealing party forfeits 100% of said asset to the other party, along with a punitive penalty equal to 50% of the asset's value to be paid from the concealing party's remaining share." It was a death trap. If she was honest, the clause meant nothing. If she was lying, it was a guillotine. The mediation was in a glass-walled office downtown. Vanessa was dressed in white. She looked angelic. She looked victorious. Her lawyer pushed the settlement across the table. "Arthur," her lawyer said, "this is a generous offer. Vanessa just wants to move on." I pretended to hesitate. I acted broken. "I just need to be sure," I said, my voice shaky. "Is this everything? Are there any other accounts? Any other real estate?" Vanessa didn't even blink. "Arthur, honestly, you've seen the audits. This is it. Stop dragging this out." I looked at Harrison. He gave me a barely perceptible nod. "Okay," I said. I signed. Then I pushed the binder to her. She flipped through it, bored. She got to page 40. She didn't read it. Why would she? She thought she was the smartest person in the room. She signed her name, Vanessa L. Sterling. The moment the pen lifted from the paper, the energy in the room shifted. I sat up straight. The broken husband act evaporated. I reached into my briefcase and pulled out a single red folder. "Counsel," I said to her lawyer, "before we leave, we need to execute the transfer of the Veritas Holdings assets pursuant to page 40, clause 9. Vanessa frowned. "What are you talking about?" I slid the deed across the table. "The warehouse district, the one you bought with marital funds, the one you just swore under oath didn't exist." Her face went pale, not white, gray. Her lawyer grabbed the deed. Then he grabbed the settlement agreement. He flipped to page 40. I watched his eyes scan the paragraph. I watched his jaw tighten. He looked at Vanessa. "Did you buy this?" he whispered. Vanessa stammered. "It was for my retirement. It's separate." "It was purchased during the marriage," I said calmly, "and per the document you just signed, you didn't disclose it." I pointed to the clause. "Forfeiture of 100% of the asset," I read aloud, "plus a punitive penalty of 50% of its value." I did the math on a napkin and slid it towards her. "The warehouse is worth $2.1 million. You forfeit that to me, plus you owe me a penalty of $1.05 million. I looked at the list of assets she thought she was keeping. The beach house, the cash, the car. "That penalty," I said, "will consume almost everything else you were awarded today." There was shouting, there were tears. Her lawyer tried to argue unconscionable contract. The judge didn't buy it. Vanessa was a forensic accountant. She was an expert. She couldn't claim she didn't understand what she was signing. The court enforced the contract. I took the warehouse district. 2 years later, the rezoning went through. I sold it for $5.8 million. Vanessa, she walked away with her clothes, her jewelry, and a used sedan. She tried to play the system, forgetting that she was playing against the man who built the system. Be careful who you underestimate, and always, always read page 40. If you enjoyed this story of quiet justice, hit that like button, and tell me in the comments what's the biggest lie you've ever caught someone telling in a legal document. Subscribe for more.